Perfect.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the TLC Podcast. I'm your host, Eric, joined as always by my co-host, Mike. Mike, how are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. We are coming off the heels of a absolutely fantastic Wrestle Kingdom. Top to bottom, that card did not disappoint.
Yes. Yeah, that card was amazing.
It really was. Just, I mean, everything from, and I can't remember what his real name is, and I feel like a jack off for only knowing his WWE name off the top of my head, but Dolph Ziggler showing up at Wrestle Kingdom.
Nick Namath,
that's it.
That's it.
Along with his brother was there with him. That was really cool.
Yeah.
But then him getting into it with who? God, now I'm blanking on who he got into it with. Finley. Yeah, David Finley.
Got into it with David Finley.
Yeah, that was super cool. Loved seeing that.
Floating around.
And of course, Naito winning the IWGP World Championship at the end.
That was awesome.
That's so great for him.
Yes.
And then Evil, and who was that with Evil? I can't.
Ren Natara.
Okay.
Yeah, he
Evil
jumped.
and Ren Natara attack him, and then Sonata makes the
No, that was Dick Togo with Evil. Ren teamed up with Evil in the tag match.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But such a from top to bottom, man, just a great card.
Really, it is.
I wanted to do Super.
Wrestle Kingdom does it right, man.
You
gotta love it. They only run the Tokyo Dome once a year, but man, it's a freaking blast when they do it.
It really is amazing. Every year they do it.
And I just have to say, hats off to them. I'm gonna crack one open for my homies.
There you go.
Oh, thank you so much, New Japan Pro Wrestling, for putting on a great Wrestle Kingdom.
That they did. Now they got to build the momentum. They have Battle in the Valley Saturday night.
Yeah, that's this coming Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah, we got 2 back-to-back.
Yeah, what a weekend.
Yeah, because you have TNA Hard to Kill.
That's
Saturday.
right. Hard to Kill is Friday night, and then
I think it's Saturday.
Is it? Oh, is it Saturday? Oh, wow. Oh, Jesus. So I wonder what time it goes. They each go on. I wonder if they're on at the same time, if they're head to head, or if.
I know Battle of the Valley comes on at 10.
Okay. Oh, okay. So it's probably.
Let me see here.
Probably Hard to Kill at 7 or 8, and then Battle of the Valley at 10.
Hold on. Hard to Kill 2024. Upcoming pay-per-view event. Let's see here. Date, the time. I'm just trying to check here.
Well, while you check on that, I just want to talk about how about the no news of WWE announcing on X or Twitter or whatever the hell you want to call it earlier in the day that Triple H was going to be making a big announcement on the Premium Live preview show that was set to take place that night on Thursday night.
Right.
And there was nothing. I guess the announcement was what was leaked, which was that Money in the Bank
is going to be in Toronto,
along with NXT Heatwave, basically 4th of July weekend. Which why WWE insists on running outside of the United States on the United States' biggest holiday is beyond me.
They're good at that.
Yeah, no, there's been a few times where it's like, hey, 4th of July is on Monday. And I think, okay, Raw's going to be in DC or Philadelphia or some real richly American town. And, we're in Calgary or we're in Toronto. Wait, what? Why?
You know what I think it is? I think it's the reverse psychology. they know people are going to be doing a lot in America, whether it's barbecues or going to maybe an MLB game or doing something else. So I think they use that time to capitalize. Because last year, Money in the Bank was in London during 4th of July weekend.
Right.
This year, it's going to be Toronto 4th of July weekend.
Yeah.
Quite a few years ago, they did the Beast in Japan when Brock Lesnar wrestled in the Hall. That special was on 4th of July itself.
Yes.
So they're notorious at this.
Yeah, I almost feel like at this point, if they tried to run a show in America on 4th of July weekend, like people would start to question what they were doing.
Right. And then think about it. You would have to go to a smaller city on 4th of July weekend in America.
Probably, because again, if you're not trying to compete with like MLB, as you said.
Or just think about it. We have the Welcome America tour.
Yeah.
Welcome America, that huge concert on the Parkway. Tons of people there. There's already so much travel coming in specifically to Philadelphia. New York does something big that, of course, DC being the capital has a lot going on. So I guess I could see why they do it then.
I suppose I could too. I've often wondered why WWE never tried to do anything to capitalize on, everybody's down at the beach every summer, whether it be Jersey Shore or anywhere else, like Ocean City, Maryland, the Outer Banks, all up and down the East Coast. Why wouldn't you try to run a show from the beach somewhere?
I think because that generally spells disaster.
I don't know. Like, don't make it doesn't have to be your be-all, end-all show.
Right.
But you could put something together and just see if you could, because the sea of humanity you could have.
Right.
For a pro wrestling show on the beach, because it's pretty cool.
WCW had one of their bash at the beaches on.
Yeah.
And it was just disastrous. WCW did those MTV spring break things that never seemed to work out. So I think they kind of realized the beach and wrestling don't really mix.
I think it's 2024. It's time to try it again.
Well, you write to WWE or try to get someone else to go on the beach.
Hey, maybe we could get AXW to do it.
Mm-mm.
Although I don't think Antonio would get on board with that.
The thing is that I know there's different licenses for each state. So
yeah.
That's where the problem lies.
Okay.
For an independent show, you need a Jersey independent company to try that, I think.
Okay.
So that's where that problem lies.
Well, I will have to find a New Jersey independent wrestling company and lobby to them to have a show from the beach. We need wrestling on the beach.
Well,
and wait for me to bring up this topic when it's very topical, when we're in the middle of the freaking winter in January. And
I was going to say, you're planning ahead, which is good because you need to plan ahead.
Sure.
You get the date available. You could do that in January. You could get the dates lined up.
Yeah. Hey, maybe we'll have the TLC podcast live from a beach at a wrestling show.
That might work.
Yeah, which means we can drag you, drag you, the wife, and the kids down to the beach. Maybe we'll make it a pet-friendly venue so the dogs can be there. It'll be a great time. I'm sure you'll love traveling with all of them.
I'll just try. I will sit at the boardwalk, and we can broadcast from the boardwalk area.
Hey, look, man, I am cool hanging out on the boardwalk.
Because I think that way we could see the action better.
Yeah.
And that way I don't have to deal with the sand and all that stuff.
Yeah, and I can get it some adult beverages. I can get some of those Curly's fries, and
Right. We're planning.
yes, this sounds like a plan. This sounds like something we need to plan out.
Right.
I want to go to the beach.
Yeah, you like the beach.
Is amazing.
Everybody loves the beach. Even people who don't like the beach like the beach.
Not
being on the beach, but maybe some of the other locations around the beach.
The boardwalk's fine, yeah.
Yeah.
I love the bird walk.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it now that I got your daughter all revved up for the boardwalk in the middle of January. She's like, all right, hold on to that feeling for about 6 more months.
Yeah. Well, it does open a little earlier. Like usually Easter weekend they open.
Yeah.
And it's always too stinking cold.
Yeah.
And then they're open the weekends. Because I remember before kids, my wife, because my in-laws have a place, we would travel more frequently down there.
Nice.
But with children and with dogs, sometimes that doesn't work out as well.
Yeah, not so much. I know my in-laws have a place outside of Sea Isle, which we frequent quite often.
No, it's more offensive to four-legged furry mongers. Yeah. You guys are easy usually. It's
the critters.
The critters, yeah.
Okay. I want to talk about. I know I teased it. We were talking before we went on air. I want to discuss the I guess we'll call it the exploits of Tony Khan going off about Jinder Mahal. Which, by the way, is Jinder Mahal just a freaking star or what? Like, wait for him to come out, and I absolutely loved him coming out and playing that heel role and just understanding that him being the returning former champion would be the biggest letdown in the company's history. And so he just hammed it up, really soaked that in.
And you know what? He's not bad.
He really is a really good worker.
He is.
He knows
he never should have went straight to the championship for being a jobber.
No, he needed some transition.
Right, he needed some of that transition time. But, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him upset Rollins. I'm not going to lie.
I think that would be absolutely fantastic. If he upset Seth Rollins next Monday, like, who'd call that?
No one, but I'm saying I would enjoy
it. For us now, yeah.
Right, yeah. But, yeah, because really, that could get you on a whole other wormhole to WrestleMania.
Oh, no doubt.
Because you could have Mahal win, Priest cash in, then you have a whole other world title picture.
Yeah.
But I think we are going to get Punk and Rollins.
We're getting Punk Rollins at WrestleMania. But I think on the road there, you could have some detours. You could have, like you said, Jinder Mahal getting the upset on Raw.
Right.
And Damian Priest cashing in. And maybe Priest and Rollins going one-on-one at the Royal Rumble for the world title. I would say Priest retains at the Royal Rumble. And then it's, you have Priest defending the world title inside the Elimination Chamber. And that's when you have Rollins winning the world title back.
Right.
Punk somehow, whether it be winning the Royal Rumble match itself or somehow earning himself a world title match at WrestleMania, and you can have Rollins Punk at WrestleMania still. Yeah.
I mean, we could make some detours. We could make some splits in the road.
Yeah. In fact, I think that the detours and the unpredictability are some of the things that make the road to WrestleMania so great.
It really is. And I think if you just go Punk, Rollins immediately, I think we need a swerve. Like we've gotten a swerve with the Cody Roman thing.
Sure.
By The Rock coming back. That's a big swerve.
Sure, and I think that's what it's meant to be. It's meant to be a swerve to the fans. It's meant to be something to make fans question, where are they going with this? Are they going to have Cody finish his story? Are they going to have The Rock be the one to go in and face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania? Or is bringing The Rock back to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania a way to justify Roman retains again at WrestleMania? Which I'd hate it. Like,
I really hate that idea.
And like you said, if Roman is booked against The Rock for night 2 of WrestleMania, I think, I would have to behoove to my wife's demands of only going to one night of WrestleMania. I would go to night 1.
Right.
And I would watch night 2 from home.
Yeah.
And I also was a big fan of your idea that you came up with on the show of selling your WrestleMania night 2 tickets, going to Revolution.
Right.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
For Sting's last match.
Yes.
And I would definitely be in for that road trip.
Yeah, that would be a trip. And see, I don't know. We got to wait and see what the road brings us.
Yeah, and I also wouldn't want to be too quick to make that decision. Like, if they start, like, don't get real anxious and, like, especially like if Punk wins the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Don't start thinking, okay, well, now they're definitely not going to do Cody and Roman at WrestleMania. It's going to be Punk and Rollins and probably Rock and Roman, which, I mean, that could be the case.
It could very well be the case, but
they still, we have other ways of getting Cody to that WWE Championship match.
Right. I really, truly believe it will be a Rock Roman Elimination Chamber match.
Yeah, I know there was a big deal, man. I can't remember who it was that either told me or if I read it somewhere that basically Perth, Australia, like with the officials there were making a big deal to saying they wanted The Rock to be at the Elimination Chamber, and they basically worked it out with WWE that they were going to make that happen. And so to me, the best way to do that is to give them Rock Roman Reigns at the Elimination Chamber.
Yes.
And it could almost be like last year when, like, man, there were a lot of people who I think really believed there was a legit chance that Sami Zayn could have knocked off Roman at the Elimination Chamber and gone into WrestleMania as the champion.
Yeah. I mean, there are some people who did believe that.
But how about CM?
I wasn't one of them, but yeah.
The Rock came back and alluded to Roman. It's not going to be CM Punk and The Rock.
I didn't see him come back. What was it like?
It was 21 minutes of killing time. You can watch it. It's on the DVR.
Yeah, I want to.
Yeah, that's how I felt. I didn't even watch it, to be honest.
I watched it. It was decent. I actually enjoyed more of The Rock's interaction with Jinder Mahal than I did The Rock doing the whole bit and saying the one line about sitting at the head of the table.
I sit at the head of the table, like, come on. And then you got everyone, Rock and Roman, and got all these people interested in a match that all it would be the WWE star effing again, pretty much.
Yeah, and it would be an appeal to the casual fan because, again, people have to understand, like, guys like me and you who are hardcore lifers to this product, we're going to tune in no matter who they put on the show.
Right.
And, we want Cody and Roman because we appreciate the history of the industry. We appreciate Dusty Rhodes and his contributions. And, what the father couldn't do, now the son does get to do, and is the first Rhodes to win the championship at WrestleMania and is the first Rhodes to hold the WWE championship. something that not even his older brother Dustin could do.
Exactly.
And Dustin deserved it too.
Yeah, he did.
He's another one. I felt like he was very underappreciated in his gimmick. I thought a very, very entertaining character, one that could not be pulled off today.
Oh, God, no. Not with all these sponsorships and...
Oh, it's homophobic. It's inter-fucking-tainment. Jeez.
Yes. Yes, but you can't have those angles anymore.
No. Well, you can't have any kind of fun angles anymore.
No. Like Akeem.
Although,
that was one of my favorite angles as a kid.
which one was that?
Akeem.
Oh, yeah. Akeem, the African Dream. Oh, yeah.
I loved that as a kid.
Would never fly today.
No, it wouldn't.
There are so many things that, like, if you go back and watch some of the old WrestleManias or like any WWE from like the 80s and 90s, like some of those things they got away with that they would not get away with now.
No, they wouldn't. Mm-mm.
Like there are two big angles immediately jump out to mind in my mind as angles that would not work today. One from WrestleMania 6, Roddy Piper, half black.
Right.
That was who. Did you ever hear the story about how basically they screwed up and gave him the wrong paint, and he was full on full on for like the entire night. Had to wash it off. Like it eventually washed off, but
that wasn't a mistake.
That wasn't a mistake?
No, that was Andre and Arnold Skolin pulling a rib on Piper.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, like, they did that, yeah.
No, yeah, they pulled the rib so he couldn't wash it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was hilarious. And the other angle from WrestleMania 7, of course, the big one, the Iraqi sympathizer,
The
Sergeant Slaughter.
Oh boy, yeah, that one was a little too contested even for 91.
Dude, when they so a couple things about that angle that to me everything else was just, dude, this is wrestling, let him go, who cares?
Right.
But the part that really stuck out to me was the when Slaughter put the Iraqi flag over Hulk Hogan. Hulk hulks up, rips up the Iraqi flag, and it's like, bro, like you can't do that.
They did it.
Yeah.
They don't care sometimes. And that's the thing about back when in the 90s. It was 80s, 90s. It was about getting the heat. And now it's just, oh, well, wait a minute. Our sponsors will not appreciate this, so we can't put this on. Like, to me, the great moments of wrestling are dead. Yeah, we might have a good match or two.
Sure.
But we're never going to have those moments that which you sit there and you say, did they really do that 30 years from now? Like 30 years from now, I guess the only thing we can really talk about would be, when if Cody wins at WrestleMania, people might talk about that. But other than that, it's just, you don't have those angles. You don't have the emotional connection anymore.
No.
Like as an American, you wanted to see Hogan win that title from Slaughter. You wanted the Iraqis to get their comeuppance. Yeah,
and I mean, look, the foreign monster heel, like that was a tried and true method at that time.
It really.
Like, how many times over the 60s and 70s did you we've got this this big German guy, and or at least he looks like he could be perceived as German. oh, we'll make him a freaking Nazi and just,
Right. The Nazi.
And nowadays, like, you couldn't do that now. I mean,
oh God, no.
And even though try telling Ludwig Borga that, God rest his soul.
Ludwig.
Did you hear about Ludwig and his tattoo?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swastika.
Yeah, he's one of those that just sound like an a-hole in the back.
Yeah.
I remember him in the old UWF, the Herb Abrams UWF. They brought him in as the Viking. And I thought, this guy's a good wrestler. And then, before you know it, caught the eye of WWF, and they brought him in. And I thought it was going to be something, but I think too many issues. I mean, he was a top heel for a while, him and Yoko. Yeah. But, I mean, he didn't last long.
Everywhere he went, and I tried to read up on him. One time I was just sitting around, drinking some beers and watching some old WWF, from the 90s. It was like, a Saturday night in, like, say, February or something like that, where there was nothing really going on at home. Because I made the joke to some of my family who got together to watch the Eagles game this past week, and I was all upset about the results of that. And I'm like, damn it, I said, nobody even likes really hanging out with me when it's not football season, because that's when I'm fun, Eric. And, like, otherwise, I guess nobody really nobody wants to hang out with me other times, dear. But anyway, I'm watching this show, and I decided to Google Ludwig Borga because I was watching some old Superstars episode, and I'm like, oh, Ludwig Borga's on this episode. And I Googled him, and that's when I found out he had died. And
right, yeah, I knew he died a while ago.
Yeah. He died in, 2005 or something?
Something around there, yeah.
Yeah, so he's been gone a while.
Yeah, he has.
And, yeah, he's just – and I remember I saw the story that Ludwig Borga had a swastika tattooed on him. Mm-hmm. And – he had not disclosed that, and Bruce Pritchard talks about it on his show. Like, they always ask him, "Hey, do you have anything? Like, let's just get out in front of it. Let's figure out what it is and what we can do about it."
Right.
And Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard were back one time, getting out of the shower, and they're all cleaning up and look over and see the swastika, and they didn't describe where it was on him, but basically, he was on a spot that was always hidden.
Right.
And they said, "Look, man, we got to make sure that's always covered."
Yeah. That is just extreme. And that's the thing. It's kind of like, I mean, Ludwig Borga, being from Helsinki, really made me come up as a kid with, my wrestling figures.
Yeah.
Of a Helsinki Hell match. And then I got upset because that idea I had in my head kind of morphed and became the Ultimate X. So, because I set up where my figures could play over in an X over ladders, and they'd need a ladder to climb up and wrestle on it was almost scaffolding. That's what I was coming with. But then they morphed it into Ultimate X. But hey, you know what? But I did.
Oh, the Ultimate X matches were fantastic. They still are.
They still are.
But man, back when AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels and those guys would be an Ultimate X, man, those were some incredible matches.
Chris Sabin.
Yeah, Chris Sabin's another one. Yeah.
Oh, he's still in them, God.
Yeah, I mean, he's more of a main eventer now than an X Division guy, which I still, even though he is the X Division champion, I still look at him as just he's really a main eventer. An X Division, I feel is kind of, it's not their Intercontinental Championship, but it kind of feels that way sometimes, where it's that workhorse title.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. I mean, it's better than all those other ones that they've tried to have.
Oh, and they've tried, man. Man, have they tried.
They have
What was that, the Grand Championship or something they had where it was like the rounds? It's like
yeah, they
the Heritage Cup.
They went back to the British round system, so they had the Grand Championship.
Yeah.
But that was also the Legends Championship. It was also that had like 3 names that one.
And then they had the television title for a while too.
They had a TV title. Now they have the digital media title.
Which actually, the digital media title is a cool idea.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
I mean, they don't have the depth on their roster.
No.
And, it feels like every other week, including last week, where we were half expecting to hear that WWE was going to announce their purchase of TNA.
Right. And that's what a lot of people thought that announcement was going to be. And because Endeavor and TNA are working on a streaming service, and just because companies are working together doesn't mean that companies are buying each other out, people.
No, and look, I would love to see, I think WWE, it would be great if WWE was able to use TNA as kind of really their minor league. Kind of like the way they used DCW back in the day.
Right. Well, they do have a minor league system.
Okay, NXT is kind of like just a third brand now.
And that's why I said they kind of do have a minor league, but really, it is a third brand. The one thing I've read about that I would be interested to see what's going to happen is, could we have a WWE New Japan working relationship soon?
Oh, that would be so fantastic.
Because WWE wants to get into the Japanese market.
Yeah.
And they want it. That would be great if we get that. Or are we going to get a WWE All Japan? Because they were saying maybe them, even though that would really, I think, bring that company back to some prominence.
Sure. I definitely think New Japan is to Japanese wrestling what WWE is to American wrestling.
Yes.
And All Japan is kind of like, they're kind of like that offshoot, the competition, the alternative.
I mean, for a while, All Japan was bigger than New Japan.
Sure.
But
right now, in 2024, New Japan is, I would have to say, is bigger.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, All Japan really, as soon as Great Baba died, that's when the wheels just went off, and then we got Noah, and just a tragedy.
Yeah.
What's happened to that company?
It's funny. I wonder if WCW had been sold to Eric Bischoff and his investors. I wonder what would have happened to that company.
I wonder.
Talk about like an alternative reality situation. That would be one of those. Like, if WCW doesn't get sold to WWE, say they sell, the company to Eric Bischoff and his investors, and they want to keep it open and running.
Ooh.
I know the plan was always to go away for a while, and then they were going to come back and have the Big Bang pay-per-view.
Correct.
Which I think was supposed to be over the summer.
Yes. And they were going to be just in Vegas.
Right.
They were going to film in Vegas, and it was going to be a smaller roster. I think it's a Hard Rock in Vegas, the casino, to film everything. And it would have been a different feel.
Yeah.
But it would be interesting to see what were to happen with that.
Oh, yeah. They had all these plans. I heard, Hulk Hogan was supposed to be involved with it.
Well, yeah, if Bischoff was doing it, Hogan would have been in.
Yeah, Hogan was going to do that because Russo was done at that point. Russo was out of the wrestling business, which
for a little bit, and then he came back in with TNA.
Yeah, he came back in TNA.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny if you could sit down and have a conversation with Vince Russo. Somebody asked me like, what would I ask him? One of the things I think I would ask him, maybe one of my first questions would be, dude, do you even like wrestling?
Yeah.
Like, if you don't, it's cool. Like, you can come clean with me and tell me that.
Right.
Because it certainly doesn't seem like you do. You don't treat it like something you like.
No, I don't think he likes it. Because, like, when you watch him in interviews, he always talks about Crash TV and this is what we were trying to get. You couldn't change the channel. And I think he had the good TV ideas, but I don't think the thing that made him work in that role was he had Vince McMahon over top of him to say.
And he needed a clear supervisor in charge over him.
Right.
And saying, like you said, saying no. Whereas when they tried to put him with Eric Bischoff, even though Eric Bischoff was more of a wrestling guy, Eric Bischoff, like, they were supposed to be equals.
Right.
And Vince Russo had a tough time, I think, treating somebody like an equal. They were either a superior or they were an underling to Vince Russo.
You know, that's kind of like that complex he has. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't feel like he ever looks at anybody, like, probably not in any situation, as an equal.
Right.
It's either they're in a better lot in life or they're worse.
Yeah.
Like, I think he can respect like somebody being above him. Like, somebody being above. I think he could probably work for somebody.
Yeah. He did for many years.
Yeah, for Vince McMahon, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, to hear him say it, man, you'd swear Vince was absolutely robbing him of his soul. And I love the whole thing about, like, when he says, oh, I decided I wanted to just make as much money as I could and retire at 40. As a 43-year-old man, you know what I say? Fuck you, Russo.
Right.
Retire at 40. Oh, I have to spend all that time away from my family and my kids and all that. Man, what do you think I do every day? Right. You think I'm spending every day with my family? No, I'm up at 4:15 every morning so I can go to work for a freaking slave-driving organization that just wants to bleed every last drop out of me. And then before I die, they'd love for me to just roll out of the way so they can put somebody else in my place. That's called the world, bro.
That it is.
Sorry, I had to get off my tangent. I don't know why. Like, when I heard him say that, and when I heard this whole thing, like, and I think there might have been a part of me that at a certain point in my life, before I really understood what this world was about, would have identified with him and would have gotten to that whole, oh, yeah, that'd be cool to be able to retire at 40. Now I'm 43 years old, and I realize I still got like 25 years to go if I am ever going to retire.
Right.
Like, and my attitude is, dude, kiss my ass thinking you can freaking retire at 40.
I think orange is your favorite color.
Mine?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you say that?
Because of your love of your company right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, also wear my Flyers orange, so.
Exactly, and I knew you had a Flyers hoodie on, so.
Yeah. And of course, my love of my company. Oh yeah, that's. And it's funny because they say that lifers there are orange blooded. I am not orange blooded.
Oh my god! I love when they feed you Kool-Aid like that. Like,
oh god, it's hilarious, and I always regurgitate it back to them in the most sarcastic and cynical way possible to let them know I realize they're full of shit.
Right? Yeah. Oh, we're orange blood. Oh, kiss my.
It's like, nah, bro, I'm red-blooded, American-made. I look out for me. Like, Eric, don't you have any love for this company? I'm like, oh, don't kid yourself. I have no love for this company. I have love for the money that it gives me, which isn't enough, but
no, it's never enough.
nah. And like they could give me $1 million, I'd still bitch that it wasn't enough.
You
they'd be welcome to try to pay me what I would see as enough.
Gotta love it.
Anyway, let's get back to the show. I'll tell you, one of the things I love going on right now is WWE, the Drew McIntyre. I really liked his character of the heel that just he was always being truthful.
You know, you gotta love it.
I kind of dug it. I was just like, and these were all things that you remember if you're fans of this show. If you remember, like back at the end of the pandemic when we were starting to come back, I remember saying, "Oh, they got to give Drew his WrestleMania redo,"
and they never had.
And they didn't.
No.
And I thought, I'm like, man, that's crap. And I thought, well, okay, maybe they're going to give Drew his moment at Clash at the Castle. And I thought, and I mean, I was dead set. I started in my own mind fantasy booking how the rest of the year was going to go with Drew as the champion. And
that was the one that really got me.
Yeah.
When they cost Drew the title at Clash at the Castle, I remember us talking about it.
Yeah.
I remember us both. How could Drew lose this? And they bring
right.
Wow. And it was just ridiculous. They even had Tyson Fury knock out Austin Theory.
Right.
Fashion. It was just like they were doing everything for Drew, and then they pull the rug out from underneath you, and surprise, Roman's still champion. And surprise to this day, a year and a half later,
Roman's still champion. And did you see the thing? I guess what they call those memes or something on. It showed Roman Reigns' title defenses in his entire reign, and Seth Rollins has now passed him with title defenses on this current reign, and he's held the belt since May.
Correct.
And Roman's held it for 3 years.
Correct, because Roman is protected, and Roman gets what he wants.
Whatever Roman wants.
Denise just walked in, and she's singing whatever Roman wants, Roman gets.
And she's right. She's right. And it's not even necessarily that I have a problem with Roman being a part-time champion. We all lived through the Brock Lesnar part-time champion deal. And isn't it funny how it just kind of feels like over the course of a few years, you either, like, if you complain enough about something, you become the problem.
Right.
John Cena complained about The Rock running off to Hollywood and leaving the WWE behind. What did John Cena do? Roman Reigns complained about Brock Lesnar being a lazy part-timer and not showing up to work. What did Roman do?
You better shut your mouth before you end up doing the same thing, and then you're
So I guess, does that mean we're going to be lazy part-timers and we're only going to show up for a show like once every 3 months?
I don't think. I think we have enough to talk about.
Can I do that with my job?
No, you can't do it. You can't do it with your job. Only Roman can.
I mean, maybe I could do it with my job. I could just show up when I want.
Right. I don't think your wife would be happy with that, though.
I don't think she'd be very happy with that idea at all.
I don't think so.
What if I decide to teach on certain days?
Considering I was toying with the idea of saying, hey, maybe I'll call out on Tuesday after the Eagles play on Monday Night Football. And it was, no, you can't call out on Tuesday. Because I told her this great story where my dad and I used to go to all the Eagles games. And when I was a kid, one Monday after an Eagles home game, I maybe been up here a year or so and been going to the games with them for a year. I come in and I'm like, Dad, I got a headache. Can I stay home from school today? And he was just like, you know what? Sure, buddy, you can stay home from school. I guess you can't handle going to the Eagles games, so I'm gonna, find somebody else to go with me to the games. And I get it. You stay home, you watch the game, no big deal, and you can still watch every game. And but yeah, I guess I won't be taking you to the games anymore. So, but go rest up, bud, and get ready for school tomorrow. And I'm like, no, you know what, Dad? I think I'll give it a try. Like, yeah, I thought you might.
Exactly.
And so she decided to use that against me. She's like, oh, well, I guess you can't handle watching playoff games if you can't go to work the next day. I'm like, son of a bitch.
You gotta love when life pulls that out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, gotta love it. That was well played. Well played.
Maybe I'll do the merchandising at that Walmart on Tuesday just to make sure you're there. I can pop in the next.
Oh, and I will be there, hungover, tired as all get out. Probably won't have showered.
I'll just come in and yell, "Hello, everybody!" right in the middle of Home Depot.
I think that would be great. That was because you and I would get it, and we'd be entertained by it. Nobody else there would understand.
No, they wouldn't.
That would be great.
That would be. I forget where I'm supposed to go next week. I might have to actually do that. I'll think about it.
That'd be great.
Yes.
Whoa. Hey, and we switched. All right.
I don't know how that just happened.
I thought that was pretty cool.
It was. Well, I switched this back. There we go.
All right. So, okay, let's talk Royal Rumble, the Fatal 4-Way now for the championship, which is taking place between Roman Reigns, LA Knight, AJ Styles, and Randy Orton.
Correct.
So, okay, I get it. As soon as you heard the music of the Tribal Chief strike up during the Triple Threat match, I thought, okay, clearly they're going to come down, beat the crap out of all these guys, and then Nick Aldis is going to announce a Fatal 4-Way. And it was sad that as soon as I heard the music, I already knew it was happening.
And you know what the worst part of it was, too?
Mm.
How they didn't have Nick Aldis get on the house microphone.
Right, he just whispers it to Paul Heyman.
He just whispers it casually to Paul Heyman. The poor people in the audience who paid money to see the show aren't knowing what their payoff is. And yet Paul Heyman gets whispered to, like, come on, you should have made it. You should have got on there. Nick should have went into the ring, said, I'm not afraid of you, and went in there and said, now it's a 4-way match. But you know what's going to happen? It's the same rinse, recycle, repeat.
Well, yeah, Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa are going to get involved. They're going to screw over whoever gets the advantage on Roman, and they're going to make sure that Roman gets the championship at the end.
Right. Now, would WWE really pull the plug and have, just going to use LA Knight get pinned and end Roman's reign?
I don't think so.
I don't think they would, but could they do this? Because think about it this way.
Well, yeah, you could get the title off Roman and get him to The Rock at WrestleMania without the championship.
And Roman could say, I never lost the championship.
And you could have, like a lot of people have alluded to the idea of Cody versus, say, Randy Orton at WrestleMania. And that, look, there'd be a lot of intrigue in that match.
Absolutely.
It would be an absolute headline. Randy Orton would be a 15-time world champion.
Right.
It would be special. And you could then afterwards, after Cody wins the title, Roman comes out, maybe not right after WrestleMania, maybe let Cody have, a couple defenses. And maybe after Money in the Bank, Roman comes back out of hiatus from wherever the hell wherever he goes when he goes away.
Right.
and Roman comes out and challenges Cody for a match at SummerSlam for the championship, and basically saying, yeah, that's great, you won that title, but until you beat me, you haven't beaten anybody.
Right. And see, that might work better because the other thing is, I've heard this. I'm not sure how much of the truth it is. I've heard that WrestleMania 40 might be Roman's last match.
Wow, that would be that would be something. I mean, I know. Look, obviously, Roman, when he got the when we heard about the diagnosis anyway, the leukemia, we knew he probably wasn't going to have a long career. He wasn't going to be wrestling until he's in his 50s.
Right.
But yeah, this would be really, really soon to have ended Roman's run.
Right. So
yeah, it could happen.
It could happen. I don't know how true it is. I don't see him retiring after WrestleMania. I see him going longer than that. But if he wants to,
I mean, look, I could see him walking away and like right now kind of having that plan because, you know, a lot of these guys, they have those plans of, oh, well, this is going to be my last match. This is going to be where I call it quits. Okay. And, you know, plans change. And, you know, when that money stops coming in, all of a sudden it's like, you know, you can, you know, Macho Man Randy Savage used to always say it's not how much money you make, it's how much you can save.
Right.
And he's right. And, you know, you wonder how much Roman saved. And when the money stops coming in, that's when all of a sudden you start thinking, well, maybe I could have one more run.
Right, because the money goes out but doesn't come in.
Nothing's coming in.
Right. I mean, I don't see him retiring, but could it be? Could it be an even more part-time schedule? Could be.
Yeah, like, I think it's going to be kind of like, and Daniel Bryan, I think, is another case study. I could see him signing with WWE when his contract runs out in AEW, and because he said that 2024 is going to be his last year full time in the ring,
right?
And that's fine. That can be his last. Well, he could sign a part-time gig in WWE, and I think Daniel's the type that would want to put over the young talent. Like, I think he would even want to work with some of the NXT guys.
I think so. And I know we discussed this off camera, but
yeah,
I think he's going to stick in AEW.
You think he's staying in AEW even after?
Even after. I think he's going to be like a special attraction for AEW. Like how Brock and Roman are for WWE. I think Brian Daniels is going to be that for AEW.
I certainly think he could. Like, I mean, he's got the model right there that he could follow. Like, okay, I'll do, like, I go away for a while, crown your champion, do whatever you want with him.
Double or nothing, I come back.
Yeah, at Double or Nothing, all of a sudden, I forget what that music's called that he plays, but
Ride of the Valkyrie.
Yeah, Ride of the Valkyrie. That's I knew Valkyrie was in there. I didn't know.
Right, yeah. Flight or I think it's
Flight of the Valkyrie. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, his music comes on out, and, you know, intimidates the crap out of the champion. The champion can sell the shit out of it. And,
right. Yeah. I think that would work.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
So I know we kind of teased the conversation. We talked about how entertaining Jinder Mahal and his character is with Seth Rollins, and I want to parlay that into the conversation on Twitter, where Tony Khan basically called out fans who were criticizing the Hook move to challenge Samoa Joe, which I wasn't criticizing that. I thought that was pretty cool. Hook challenging Samoa Joe.
We need more challengers for champions.
Yes.
We can't have the same things over and over and over.
Agreed.
for people to criticize Hook and Jinder getting title shots, we need
Yeah,
that.
I don't think either criticism is fair.
I really don't. I think I give both companies a thumbs up for actually doing something different and
Yes.
stepping outside of this parallel boxes that we have, that you can only be WWE, you can only be AEW fans. And no, people who like wrestling like wrestling.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what the company is. These companies that are trying to build younger stars, and with Hook becoming a challenger for Samoa Joe, he's young. People are getting behind him. He's got it in his DNA. Let him have a match against Joe. Jinder is a former WWE champion. Granted, he went from jobber to champ overnight. But he's a former champ.
Yeah.
He's a hell of a worker. Let him have a match with Seth.
Seth could have a 5-star match with a broomstick.
Right.
And Jinder Mahal is slightly a step up from. No, I'm kidding. Jinder Mahal is an incredible talent. Like,
He is.
If you can't recognize his talent, then like you've just been. I don't know what you're looking at. Like,
Right.
Jinder is phenomenal. Like if you want to discount Jinder because you don't like him, then perhaps you don't understand the point of heels and baby faces in wrestling. You're not supposed to like him.
And the other thing is, when he wants to be a comedian, he was great with 3MB.
Oh, he was fantastic with 3MB.
It's like, yeah, sometimes you have to do these oddball title matches. You can't.
So was I the only one who, when Drew McIntyre first came back to WWE, and I recognized that Drew, Jinder, and Heath were all back with the company? Heath was tagging with Rhino. Drew was teaming with Ziggler. And I thought, wouldn't it be great have a tag team match, Heath and Rhino versus Drew and Ziggler, and just during the match, Jinder Mahal just kind of meanders his way down to the ringside area. And you look over, maybe, I don't know, Drew pins Rhino to get the win. And it's like, while Drew and Ziggler are there celebrating, Heath Slater looks down at Rhino, and like all of a sudden, maybe gores Rhino or something like that. And everyone's like, whoa, what the hell's he doing? Right. And Ziggler's like laughing and pointing with Drew and laughing over at Rhino getting beat up. And then Drew gives him the old Glasgow kiss. And then Claymore Ziggler, and then you have a serious version of 3MB all united.
That would have been great.
I think that would have been such an awesome move.
It really would have, because it would have thrown everyone through a loop.
Right, because who would have booked that? Who would have seen that coming?
Some psychopath, maybe. That's about it.
Yeah, it's me. I'm that psychopath.
Right. That's pretty much about it that would see that.
Because I was the only one who actually, whenever I see these comedic groups put together, I immediately think there's got to be a heel version of the three of them together, and where they're like serious. Like, I wanted forever for Breeze Dongo to like all of a sudden decide they were these freaking badasses and start beating the shit out of people.
That would be great.
And we've kind of gotten that with what you call Angel Garza and Humberto Correa.
Yeah.
Like I had done, like, finally they did exactly what I wanted them to do. Right.
I'm kind of surprised because they were just in NXT. I'm surprised they're not in the Dusty Classic, but the LWO's in it.
Yeah, I would have thought they'd have been in it.
Right.
So this the whole Dusty Cup has to be to set up Mello turning on Trick, right?
When you look at the brackets, it's pretty well. You can tell it's going to be Corbin and Breakker representing the left side.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got to be Mello and Trick on the right side. And
Mhm.
those two teams in the finals. And
who's turning on who?
either that or maybe you have Mello and Trick win there. And then something else happens and Stand and Deliver.
See, yeah. And that's the thing. Maybe Stand and Deliver becomes the night where Trick gets an NXT championship match and he's trying to be 2-belt Trick.
Right.
And so he has to defend the tag titles early on or something. And maybe they drop the tag titles or they don't win the tag team title match.
Right.
And then at the end, when Trick loses in the championship, Mello comes out and he's consoling Trick. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. And then all of a sudden he does the DIY turn and just freaking takes him out.
We could get that.
I think that would be fantastic.
I think so too. I like it.
Where's the salt and vinegar?
Hold on.
And that would be a hell of a way to send that Philadelphia crowd into WrestleMania.
What's salt and vinegar?
I need salt and vinegar.
We don't have vinegar. I do apologize. I'm getting questioned for salt and vinegar.
Well, then let's go to the store and get some.
What do you need it for?
That's fine.
I'm afraid.
Well, on that note, we've been going on this for about an hour now. I think it's about time for us to call it a night. First off, if you want to give the rundown before we get out of here, where we're at in our standings after Wrestle Kingdom.
You picked up a point on me at Wrestle Kingdom. We were tied going into the show. The House of Torture gave you the extra point.
Yes.
You picked that. You picked them.
Yep.
And then the championship matches we washed on because you had Tama Tonga.
Right.
I had El Desperado. So those two were
those two were next.
Were a wash. Now, if you wanted to predict, because we have two super shows. We have Hard to Kill and Battle in the Valley. If you wanted to predict one or two of them, we could.
I suppose we could.
It's up to you.
Yeah, let's do it. Even though I haven't watched Impact in a while, and I tried to watch New Year's Dash, but I couldn't figure out how to. Like, I think the Japanese was on my
right
on my setting. I couldn't figure out how to change it to English.
Okay.
So I'll have to figure that out. But
are we doing one or two or both?
Let's do both.
Both. Okay. Hold on. Let me get the cards up.
All right.
Let me get this working out here. I guess we could do Hard to Kill first.
Sure.
Chronologically, that comes on at 8. Battle of the Valley comes on at 10. So,
all right.
Okay, so hold on. Hard to Kill. Let me get this up. That's going to be in Las Vegas. Hard to Kill.
Yeah.
All right, so we will skip the prelim matches, correct?
Okay.
Because that's what we've done pretty much the whole time.
Yeah.
All right, so the first match listed via Wikipedia for Hard to Kill is a fatal 4-way for the tag titles. It's ABC versus the Rascals versus Speedball Mountain versus the Grizzled Young Veterans.
I want to go GYV.
Right.
So I think I'm going to. I'm going to go GYV.
You're going to go GYV, okay?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to go for Speedball Mountain.
Okay.
Because
Come on.
Trend 7 just signed, so maybe they'll pull something out.
We do both have two, new signees going in there and winning.
Yeah. So if they want to pull something special off.
Yeah.
Next match, I don't even think I really need to get your prediction for this. Alex Hammerstone against Josh Alexander.
Josh Alexander.
There's good luck.
I think I could have just let you make that prediction for me.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, I'm just going to go Josh as well. All right, now we got a 6. I don't know if it's 6 or 5. An Ultimate X match to for the number 1 contender for the Knockouts World Title.
Oh, okay.
We have Giselle Shaw versus Xia Brookside versus Jody Threat, Tasha Steele, Alicia Edwards, and Danny Luna.
Ooh. Oh, man, I love Giselle Shaw. I've always loved her character. I think I'll go Giselle Shaw.
You're gonna go Giselle, okay?
Yeah.
To me, she seems like the one who should win because she's been there the longest.
Right.
This one's so good.
Let's see here.
This one's so good too.
But you know what? I'm gonna go with Danny Luna as the new wild card.
What the hell is
Like sauce?
that? No, throw that.
Okay. Then we have Dirty Dongo versus PCO.
As much as I love Dirty Dongo, I'm gonna have to go PCO.
Yeah, I think
Does
I'm
somebody
gonna
need
go there
Dirty?
too. It's Fandango is now Dirty Dango.
Fandango! He doesn't do his dancing thing anymore?
No,
Wait, he's not on WWE.
No, we're predicting the TNA
He's
pay
on
per
TNA
view.
now?
Yes, he is.
These guys move around like you don't know what.
Who's TNA?
I know.
Well, it used to be Impact. Now it's back to
Yeah,
TNA.
now it's back to TNA.
So there, hold on. It's TNA, WWE, and AEW.
Correct.
I New Japan.
And thank you.
Well, yeah, but we don't ever follow that. At least I don't.
Well, yes.
Technically, I don't follow anything with WWE and a little bit of.
We follow New Japan, but I mean,
That's
we're
all.
psychos.
You
Right.
guys have to be a real like a wrestler fan to follow all that stuff.
Yes.
Most
Oh
people-
yeah, you've got to be because it's exhausting.
It is exhausting.
Like Trish.
Now we have the X Division title match between Sabin defending against El Hilo Di Vicano and Kushida.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna go Sabin to retain.
I'm going to go Kushida in this match.
Okay. Yeah, he was the other one I was thinking of.
Yeah, I think he might pull it off.
Do you know how Pop-Up did that?
Next up, we got Trinity against Jordan Grace for the Knockout Championship.
It's funny. I'm a huge fan of Jordan Grace, so I think I'm gonna go with her.
Okay.
Even though part of me still thinks they might be trying to let Trinity, have a real lengthy title reign here. So I wouldn't be surprised if I got this one wrong, but I'm gonna say Jordan Grace because I'm a big Jordan Grace fan.
And I'm going to go Trinity because I think they want to give her that lengthy title run.
Yeah.
And then for the TNA World Championship, Alex Shelley against Moose.
I want Shelley to retain mainly because I want to see the cash in from Sabin and for option C, and I want to see Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin. I know we've seen it before, but this time for the World Championship, I want to see that at some point. So I know I have to have them both retain their titles. So I'll go Alex Shelley to retain.
Okay.
Sit,
And
sit,
I'm going to go Moose.
sit, good girl.
Okay.
I think that
Sit.
I think as good as Alex Shelley is,
Mm-hmm.
I think with the new rebranding, I think they're using this almost as a reset. So it might be time to give Moose the title again.
Oh yeah, that could make sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
20 world champion in there with the rebranding.
With the rebranding, yes. All right, and now we got to go Battle at the Valley. Let me see here. I'm just going to pull up NJPW 1972 for this one.
You still on the podcast?
Yes, honey. Schedule. Match lineup. All right, so we're going to pass the kickoff shows.
Yeah.
But, side note on the kickoff show from AXW, Goldie, good luck.
Yeah. Very excited for Goldie.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I will definitely be watching that kickoff show match because I gotta root on Goldie.
Yes,
You're born better, baby. You got it, Goldie.
All right, so the nice part about New Japan's website is they give it to you right in the match order.
I love it.
Okay, so for the battle, we have a 6-man tag to kick off.
Okay.
Joto Uma, Fred Rosser, and Jacob Fatu against Tom Lawler, Royce Isaac, and Jordan Nelson. Jarrell Nelson.
I think I'll go with that first team you mentioned.
Okay. All right, so you're going to go with Uma, Fatu, and Rosser.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'll go with that team too. It's probably, they're going to be the faces.
Yeah.
They want the crowd to start out hot. The last Battle of the Valley was a good one. So I think they're going to want to start them out hot.
Yeah, wasn't that the one Battle of the Valley? Was that when Jay White lost the
Yes.
match with Okada where he lost?
And then Okada and Tanahashi main evented it.
Okay.
So
You can send this. Go ahead.
okay, match 2, Mascarado Dora. After this, and Voldara Jr. against Rocky Romero and Soberano Jr.
I'll go Rocky and Soberano Jr.
Okay. And you know what? I think I'm going to agree with you. With Rocky being in America.
Yeah, that's my rationale.
Yeah, that's my rationale as well to this one. Next match, TJP against David Finlay.
Oh, David Finlay just won the championship. I know like sometimes New Japan likes to have those surprises and the new champions right away.
All right.
But I think I'm going to go David Finlay to retain.
Yeah, this is a non-title match.
Oh, okay.
And
well, then maybe I'll change my prediction and say TJP.
okay,
And then put him in the front of the line for the.
I'm going to go David Finlay.
Okay.
I don't know if they could really have him lose to TJP. Because it's kind of like the heavyweight and the junior heavyweight, how they like to keep them separated.
Oh, yeah.
The strong openweight tag team championship match. Okay. Between Gorillas of Destiny against Bullet Club War Dogs of Alex Coughlin and Clark Connors.
I'll go Gorillas of Destiny.
Same here. I think that they should be able to. It's their third defense of the strong titles. They just unified them. I don't think they're going to want them separate again already.
No.
Next up's the strong women's title between Gulia against Trish Adora.
Okay. So who's the champion right now?
Gulia.
I think Gulia retains.
I think it's Julia. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go. Yeah.
I'm going. It's her 8th defense. I think she holds on to it.
Yeah.
Considering they don't have many women. Next match is going to be interesting. Zack Sabre Jr. and Bad Dude Tito.
Oh.
Against the tag team of Matt Riddle and a mystery opponent.
I'll go Riddle and his mystery partner.
Okay. All right. I want to say that, but I got to go Sabre and Tito.
I will say, like, one idea they could do is have Riddle's surprise partner turn on Riddle, and that could be a way to set up another rivalry down the road. And
exactly.
Yeah.
Next match, the 7th match. There's 9 matches, so we're almost done. For the AEW Continental Crown, Eddie Kingston against Gabe Kidd.
I don't think there's any way they have Eddie Kingston drop an AEW championship on a non-AEW show. So I think Eddie Kingston retains.
Especially to Gabe Kidd. Like, let's face it. Yeah. And then we got a 60-minute time limit, no DQ match. Shingo Takagi against Jon Moxley.
Ooh. Oh, I love it. It's in America, although it's a New Japan show. I'll go Jon Moxley.
All right, you're going Mox. I'm going to go Shingo. I like him better. Granted, I think Mox is going to win, but I got to root for the guys I like.
Sure.
And then the main event, 60-minute time limit. Okada, Ospreay.
Oh. There's one thing I know. It's if you want to play it safe, always take Kazuchika Okada in a big match. And so I will stick with that. I will take Kazuchika Okada.
Okay, you're going to go Okada. I'm going to go Ospreay.
Okay.
I think this might get him a little bit more traction as he's leaving, so I'll go Ospreay.
All right, so there are 2 shows.
Double Saturday shows.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, and certainly hope everybody enjoys them, and hopefully everybody enjoyed this show tonight. For everybody watching out there, really appreciate you. Be sure to, follow all the buttons that, Facebook and everything else tells you to do. You should always blindly follow them. That's just always good advice.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That is your social media tip of the day. Always follow.
There you go. Blindly follow. Everybody have a great night. Thank you so much for joining us. And Mike, anything to add before we get out of here?
All I can say is we'll see you next week.
All right. See you next week. And happy wrestling.
I mean, gotta always have that in